Welcome to the listening show. I almost said the wrong show.
You
Show that
almost
you can
did.
listen to. We have so many shows now that it's so hard to keep track of all of them.
All both.
Both of the shows that we have that we named super similarly, and we're going to always regret doing because
And
of how difficult it is to remember.
They look the same. They sound the same, which is really confusing because
But they don't watch the same.
And they don't listen the same.
We have a special guest today. His name's Joe. Welcome, Joe.
Hello, Joe.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
You're
welcome.
Thank you for being had.
Hey, have you ever listened to the listening show? I'm just curious. I didn't even think to ask you that.
I have, actually. So when it was first kind of like announced, or kind of when Walter went over it on his channel, I don't know what subscriber place I was, but I was definitely one of the first couple hundred.
Mm-hmm. We have a retro. We got an old boy here.
Oh, boy.
A special boy. One of our old listeners. Well, cool, man. That's awesome. Walter said he found you someplace. How did you meet Joe?
Oh, he's asking me. All right. Well, this is how I met you, Joe. Apparently, it's my decision. I had a mini meet.
Love the story.
I love this story.
Tell it again, Dad.
I had a mini meet, and you were one of the
Meters.
Yes, thank you. I was like, what's the right word? One of the meetingers that came. So that mini meet was like a couple hours, as they are. And he said, hey, I listened to your listening show. I wanted to know if maybe if you said you wanted to have guests, if I could be a guest because I have a TikTok or something you said.
Yeah, so I have a small TikTok page, just kind of same content that you do. Just kind of like moto vlogs, go around Kansas, the Overland Park area, and just kind of record people, I guess. I don't know.
What is your TikTok called?
So it's called It's Just Joe.
Ironically, that's our only guest today, too. It's just Joe.
It's just Joe.
It is.
That's how we should have started it.
I should have.
We have a very special guest. It's just Joe.
It's great.
No, that's great.
I got to go through a couple of your TikToks because I'm a TikTok boy, and Walter's like, hey, you should follow this guy because I don't have a TikTok, and then we can watch some of his stuff. And I watched some. Are you proud of me?
You approve it?
I'm very proud.
Man, so how long have you been doing that?
So I only started about a year ago, I want to say. Kind of just off and on. I think it really started blowing up in... maybe like March or April of last year. That's when I had one video get about 10 million views.
Wow.
And that kind of shot that follower count through the roof.
Yeah.
So how many followers do you have now?
I've 130 and some change, 130,000 and some change.
Congratulations. Wow. I mean,
you're that valuable as a human being.
I know. Am I right?
I don't know TikTok. So, I mean, 130,000, regardless of whatever platform you're on, is a lot. I don't care what anybody says.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think of that?
I'm not quitting my day job anytime soon.
Okay. All right. I like that.
I think it's a great milestone, and I think it's it's something that I've been trying to work for a while, and finally like coming to fruition about it too. But it's kind of, I don't want to say it's easy to get followers on TikTok, but I feel like it's a lot easier than YouTube, just because my YouTube channel only has like 400 maybe.
Did you start them both at about the same time?
I did, yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, what do you think about it, Zach? Because I think this generation is more TikTok than YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously.
TikTok is just weird. Like the algorithm is super complex, and then it almost seems like it's more volatile than YouTube, just because it basically forces you to watch random videos. So it's like
it definitely is.
Yeah. So I could totally see why it's like, I don't know if it's quite easier to get big on TikTok because you have to your videos kind of have to meet certain requirements in order for it to be shown at all, and then you have to have a certain percentage per view. From what I understand, you might know more about it.
Something weird about TikTok and YouTube is YouTube has all the stuff about copyright strikes and all that stuff, but TikTok also portrays that where they can demonetize a video just for having minor safety concerns, which sucks for having a motorcycle channel because TikTok anytime a motorcycle is shown, that video is demonetized.
Wow.
I didn't even know TikToks could be monetized. Maybe I should have known that.
Yeah.
Jeez. So how'd you figure that out? Did you just like one day get enough views and then they were like, hey, do you want money? And then
Yeah, so the way TikTok does that is after 10,000 followers and 10,000 likes, you can sign up for their creator program, and that kind of is just I think when they actually signed the deal for it, it's like $1 billion that they can just give out to random people.
Jeez.
And
then-
not in like one sitting, like of course like nickel and diming it across all the people on the platform. But your videos have to meet a certain requirement, and I noticed that signing up for the creator fund was really hurting my views originally because I did it when I hit 10,000. So I actually left it and rejoined it when I was at 100,000.
Whoa, interesting.
I assume that they are ads, right? Or is the revenue, like you just said, it's just a big pot that they have allotted to give out to certain people?
So it's all basically off of CPM. So kind of like YouTube in the sense, but each view, it varies depending on what month it is and, what kind of content you post and how long the video is. But, that can affect my CPM from going from like 7 cents or 20 cents. Now, never been that high, but,
What does that stand for, guys? It clicks per minute?
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's kind of like YouTube. Like you're saying that stuff, and between all three of us, should probably know that the most, and yet I don't know much of anything. So, Well, here's a question I have for you. It's a trick question because I want you to answer it a certain way.
Fair.
Why did you start your TikTok?
So I originally, and I think this is the answer you want me to say. Originally, when I was in high school and I was actually living in Kansas before I moved away and then moved back, of course, running into you in public was a great kind of segue into getting into this, just because it was one of those things where you can like express your personality without having to be around. How am I going to word this? Being around like a crowd of people. Because I'm not like, I wouldn't say that I'm a shy person, but I definitely, when I'm just like hanging out in my helmet, am definitely more like open than I am if I was like at work or if I had to record a video.
You're more at home and more comfortable, literally in your own space.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I wanted you to say.
Okay. Started off everything.
Okay, so the short answer, you started it because I don't want to put words in your mouth.
I started it because I had a buddy who started his, and I saw kind of like how his videos were getting 100 views, and he was getting all these really cool comments, and I'm like, oh hell, that's really cool. There's people in the community that will support smaller channels. So I started, reposting some of his videos that I was in. Then I got my own gear and, started recording my own stuff. And there's kind of that ratio of really nice comments and really mean comments, but I like reading the really nice ones.
Yeah.
I don't know if that works to my ego,
I
but
was like, I don't know if that was the right answer.
Yeah. I've always been curious. So you've said you knew Walterific. You knew that channel. How long have you been watching Walterific?
kind of on and off since, shoot, man, I'm not even that old. Maybe like 2016 or 17.
Yeah.
I'll accept it.
Do you remember the first video you watched? I'm just curious.
Oh gosh.
Zach's being mean and asking hard questions.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I believe
It
it.
had to have been a Moto Monday.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a fair enough answer. Yep. We got so I have a TikTok, right? And
Okay.
I just want to brag for a minute because I have like 900 followers. So I'm basically at your level.
100%.
See, the thing is like I'll put a video. This is what's weird to me is that the videos that I think should do really good, they don't do good at all. And maybe that's not weird. Maybe that's just a truism of content creation. But I'm wondering, do you have like a video that you were like, man, why didn't this one was like my best one, and how come this other random one did good? You know?
Yeah, I actually have some crazy insight about that. I'm gonna pull my page up so I can look back and figure out which one it was. But there was a video that I spent probably an hour and a half editing. And being TikTok, it's a lot easier to post on than YouTube because you only have to post like a 1 minute clip, and it kind of generates the same effect that YouTube would. I don't remember exactly what video it was, but there was a video, I think it was my geocaching video, that I spent kind of a while editing, and I was really hoping it was going to bang, but it only did 3,500 views. And then a video just a couple of weeks later that I posted that I think I spent maybe 10 minutes just, splicing up the clips, got 100,000 views.
Yeah, that sounds pretty typical. That's so bizarre.
Yeah, and it's the same deal kind of throughout too. The video that I got 9.1 million views on, it was like I spent time editing that, and that was one that I actually really was hoping would do well, and then it did well, so I was really happy about that. But then the other day I posted a video of me at the gas station just trying to stop the pump on an even number, and that does 4,000 views.
Satisfying.
Yeah, I was like, I relate.
Yeah. So what do you mix your videos with or edit your videos with? Do you do it in TikTok?
So if I record something on my phone, I usually do it through TikTok, but every time I do anything with GoPros or like my 360 camera or my A6000, it's usually on Sony Vegas.
Huh.
And then you put that back into your phone, and then you upload it on TikTok.
Yeah.
Is that normal? Is it what? I mean, I assume most videos in TikTok are just recorded and done on the phone. Is that normal?
There's a lot of like very big TikTok people that I've kind of noticed that only record on their phone, and they use apps like CapCut or iMovie, and they record or they edit everything off there. But because I don't know, I think it's better because the like phone screen ratio thing is much easier to handle on there. Because if you notice, all my videos are in like a 16:9, where it doesn't fill the whole screen of your phone.
Mm-hmm.
But all of those other people are recording them on their phone, so it keeps that screen ratio.
Yeah. Well, when you record like on your GoPros and stuff, you're not just thinking about TikTok because you upload to YouTube too, right?
I do. Not as much, though, because a lot of my TikTok stuff is like me, going to the store, and, if I have to go fill up gas and something happens at the gas station, I'm just recording to hopefully get something on camera that's going to be good enough to post for a minute or two on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
So you said you weren't going to quit your day job anytime soon. I'm curious what that is, if you don't mind sharing.
So I currently work at Cycle Gear, so just the
Oh yeah, I knew that. You told me that.
motorcycle store.
Oh, okay. You're immersed in the world.
I am.
All right.
And I was on Discord with some people the other night, and I was saying, if somebody just gave me $1 million tomorrow, I still wouldn't quit my job.
And what's the
Wow,
reason?
that's awesome.
What's the reason for that?
Because it's one of those things that's not going to last forever, and I'm always kind of, I mean, it's going to sound super pretentious, but I always try to stay steps ahead of myself. That way, I always have backup plans. There's always something that I can fall back on.
Okay, so it's out of what do you call that? A conservative / pessimistic,
Like a fiscally
frugal
responsible
way,
yeah.
mindset. Is that what that is?
Sure.
Okay. I was guessing it was going to be because I love motorcycle parts so much, which I would have been happy with. But, that's a good enough reason
that's the
too.
great thing too is that not a lot of people know that I work there. So it's like super funny thing happened the other day is my I always like make jokes with my coworkers that I know that my video did good when my coworkers' friends will send them my videos.
Yeah.
Yep.
When it gets circulated locally.
Yeah. And then I sometimes get people in Cycle Gear that will, they'll recognize the bike or they'll, mention that they've seen my videos and stuff. And that's always a great feeling.
Yeah, man. So how do I put it? I can relate. Man, I don't want to put you on the spot though. But should I? Why
Yeah,
is
why
that?
not?
Why is that a great feeling?
I don't know. I think there's a sense of recognition that I enjoy because I'm putting this effort into something and seeing that it's actually producing like stuff that I was hoping for. And people are, like if I'm at like a car meet and someone comes up and they're like, oh, whose bike is this or whose car is this? And then they're like, oh my God, I've seen this on like TikTok. I love watching your videos. That's just such like a great feeling to me.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. I remember like it's so interesting hearing like somebody else kind of say these things because I remember like when you were getting your YouTube channel kind of up and ready and stuff. I remember having moments. I would ask you this too, but like where I'd be at my job and there'd be like kids in the lobby watching Walterific videos. And then I'd be like, okay, I got to say something. I'd be like, hey, that's my friend. And then they'd be like, no, it's not. And then I'd show them pictures and they were like, what? And then like I'd like show them. Do you remember the video you made, the one where you were announcing a new season and then you had me dress up in your suit and dance?
Yeah.
And then the police came by?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, and that's me. And they're like, that's not him. And I was like, no, it's me. He dressed me up in his stuff and I danced. Anyway, but like, it's funny. Do your friends like, what do they say about your TikTok fame?
It's kind of funny where like we'll go out to eat at like Tanner's or just restaurants around the area, and they'll mention it to like our waiter or waitress just to be funny, and they'll be like, oh, okay, well, it's probably not that big. How many followers do you have? And I say like 130,000. They go, so you're famous? And I go, I always think I'm like, I'm not. I don't think I am. I don't want to be portrayed as I'm famous off of 100,000 followers. I don't think that's like, especially on and Walter, I'm singling you out here on Walter's level of 2 point something million. I would consider that famous because you have a backing, you have people who will know your name without having somebody else to mention it. If you know what I mean by that.
I know what you mean, and I'll say a couple things just because I think it's interesting, but I think it's all arbitrary. But I did have a similar thing when I had like 100,000 subscribers, and people were like, "Are you famous?" I'm like, "No," and then I thought, "Well, what is famous? I don't know."
Yeah.
But I've come up with my arbitrary numbers, and I would have told you this before, Zach. 100,000 people know who you are. You are popular. No one's going to say you're unpopular if 100,000 people know who you are. At a million, I think you can say you're famous because there aren't a lot of people who have a million people who know who they are. But
And that's
a pretty famous number. And I was like, what's 10 million? Celebrity? It's like famous.
It's like minor celebrity.
Squared.
Yeah.
But then maybe 100,000 is a superstar because then you're a household name. I don't know. It's arbitrary.
Yeah.
Anyways. Not because I don't think you deserve to be famous. I'd have to arbitrarily agree that 100,000 is not famous. But you are undoubtedly very popular.
I think that's a good way of putting it too. That I would say I'm just popular.
Yeah. Although to argue against myself, it's not like maybe I was famous, but I don't think so anymore because it's not like a million people probably know who I am now. A million people have probably seen me, but they don't like my views aren't millions at all. They're not even hundreds of thousands.
Okay.
It's like 10,000. So it's much more humble. What's the word? I don't think I don't feel like I can brag about having millions of followers or something. But anyways, here's a fun question. How often would you say you get recognized? And this isn't to put you on the spot. This is a fun question for me.
I don't even know. Maybe it's not a lot. It really is not a lot. It's usually when I'm either at a car show or if somebody comes into my work and just kind of recognizes the bike outside or my car outside. Just because there's a factor of, since I don't really show my face on camera, and I'm not opposed to it. I have videos with my face in it. I just don't go out of my way to show my face.
Yeah.
Just because there is a sense of privacy that I still want to keep. But
Smart guy.
I would say just getting recognized off the bike or the car, it's probably maybe 2 or 3 times a week.
That is not a little amount. That is not a little amount. I don't think anyway.
No, it's not.
Zach Crawford, do you get recognized?
I do have a story because I did get recognized one time, and it was because I used to do improv, and I freaking did improv and I killed. And I was doing this seminar where there was like all these people who were writing books and stuff, and somebody came up to me in like a Walmart and they were like, "Oh my gosh, the melting snowman." And they just kept bringing up something about the melting snowman. And they were so happy to see me. And I was like, "I don't know who you are." And then they were like, "At the Oh Yeah seminar years ago, I saw you and you had a skit about a melting snowman." And it was so weird because in that exact moment, I remembered exactly what they were talking about. And I remembered like the crowd loving that moment because it was very like physical humor. I was dragging my arms on the ground and stuff. And they were like, "I made this and I sent this to you on Facebook." And then I remembered, oh, I know who this person is. This person was like sending me stuff, but they sent me like these cookies that look like melted snowman. I still have that on my Facebook.
That is so cool.
I know. I felt extremely famous. That same seminar, I got to meet one of my favorite childhood writers too, because he was speaking it there. It was like one of the best moments of my life, but I don't have to talk about me anymore. I'm seeing you look at me.
So once?
What?
You got recognized once? That's
I
how
think
often
I've
you
been
get
recognized more than once.
Yeah. But the moral of the story
Once
is...
I was recognized because of you.
That doesn't count.
Yeah, I know.
The moral of the story is... Actually, it does count. But the moral of the story is that you don't get recognized 2 or 3 times a week by strangers.
No,
That's
no.
what I'm saying. Like, that is a lot.
I will say sometimes it is the same person. So it's not like we have this dude that works
Hey, dude! Like, I've been recognized
Hey,
again.
Joe! 2 days later.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe!
Yeah.
3 days later. I recognize you. Hey,
Yeah.
Joe!
My
So
plight.
He comes in the cycle here, like
Fame comes at a heavy price.
Maybe like, I don't know, twice a month or something. And every time he'll bring in like somebody new, and he'll be like, "Hey, so you know that video that you sent to me the other day?" And they're like, "Yeah." All right, that's him. And I'm like, "Aw, that's cool." But now they know where I work.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we had a couple neighbors where we live because Walter we live together now. And some of my neighbors knew who he was and stuff. And sometimes I'll see them bring their friends over and they'll be oogling and ogling in his Jeep and they'll be like, "Oh." Yeah, I thought that was funny.
I'll say one kind of cool thing. And Walter, I'm not trying to
Blow
be
smoke.
weird about this, okay?
He's being weird.
We bought a motorcycle from your neighbor 2 doors down.
Huh. Oh.
The only reason we know about it is because all your cars were parked outside, and this is actually when you still had the R8.
Oh. So not where I live now. Or I guess you don't know where I live
wouldn't
now.
know that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So when I had the R8 in Kansas.
Yeah, so this
Okay.
was
I don't remember.
2 years ago or 3 years ago or something.
Was it what kind of motorcycle was it?
And we bought a GSXR 600.
Was it literally a couple doors down or like a few doors down?
It was maybe 5-6 houses.
Okay,
down,
that makes
so-
more sense because I don't recognize that bike, but I trust you on that. So then, of course, my big, pretentious, obnoxiously marked vehicles were
Clearly
pegging where I live. Yeah,
Your Hot Wheels.
small world.
You literally
You and
have
me
like
moved
Tonka
back to
trucks.
Kansas at the same time, and when I moved back, we went to go pick up the GSXR 600 for my buddy. And when we were driving through we were driving up to the guy's neighborhood, and we saw all of your cars, and we're like, "Oh, those look familiar."
Huh.
And we kept driving because we were more like focused on the motorcycle. And we came back, we're like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, small world. This is kind of related. I rode to Wichita. Which one's 3 hours away? It's Wichita, right?
Topeka.
Is it Topeka? I think Topeka's an hour.
Wichita's about an hour and a half.
Are you sure?
Oh wait, no, Topeka is.
Topeka's an hour away, I think.
You're
and then
right.
Wichita Street. Does that sound right, Joe?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
I'm still new around here, so I'm not.
Okay,
I'm not
sorry.
Sure.
Well, I drove 3 hours away because I wanted to put some miles on my bike, and I went to a restaurant to watch a football game, and I rode home, and then I was watching Hoovie's Garage. Do you know who that is?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, Kansas YouTuber. I knew he lived in Kansas somewhere, and then his freaking house address was in his video. I was like, dude, why is your house address in your video? Well, I'm going to look up where you live because I'm curious. I looked on the map because he had in his video. It's not like he went read it out loud, but it was there for everybody to see, which I thought was very strange. But I looked it up, and it happened that I had ridden 2 miles away from where he lived. I was like right there. I was like, I could have just ridden by his house. Like, I was so close, because I'm kind of a fan of his. Not to say that you should go ride by people's houses, but the fact that I was so close, and this is a small world type of a thing. It's kind of like when you went by my house unknowingly. I went by his house unknowingly. I just didn't see it. So I was like, oh.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird when that happens. So, and
That's
then
cool.
Fate had us meet for realsies, like actually face to face. Although I can't remember. Please forgive me because I do get people confused. I think when I saw you at the mini meet, I recognized you. And have I seen you before? I think I think I saw you, and then you moved away, and then you moved back. Does that sound right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, how long ago did we meet the first time?
The very, very first time we met was, I'm gonna have to pull this up because I was actually the first time we met was in one of your Moto Mondays.
That's right. And you said you were in a car?
Yeah, it was when I was in my 300ZX. We had just left Tomahawk, and I'm pulling the video up. I think it was 90 something, Moto Monday 90 something.
Years.
And
That's a while ago.
yes.
yeah.
But I don't remember the video, but I recognized your face, so I'm lucky, I guess.
Yeah. And then we met another time when you gave me the metal card. So I have the cardboard one and the metal one.
Wow.
And then just a couple of other mini meets, and we've ran into each other in traffic before, but
Okay.
Wouldn't be the wiser.
What metal card do you have? What number?
Oh, that's a great question. Hold up.
It's a test.
This is
They have
not.
to
You
prove
don't
it.
remember it at all times.
Please forgive me.
It's not your most prized possession.
What's your spam number? To the depths.
Yeah, I still have mine in my wallet.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, I've used it to pick things out of cracks.
Okay.
All right, here we go. I am number 121.
121.
121. Well, I would have given that to you months, long while ago. You wouldn't have gotten that when I met you last month.
No. This was a while ago.
I only know that because they're not necessarily given out in sequence, but generally in sequence. And I'm giving out something in the 500s now, meaning that would have been given out at the rate they go out a long time ago. So I've met you a few times.
This cardboard one, I know they don't have a number on it, but this is a old card.
I had a few cards, but anyway, you have 2 cards, and I've met you a few times.
Yeah, here
Small
I'll shoot you a
world.
picture of this on Instagram.
Okay.
So you can
That's so
tell me how old
interesting.
it is.
What a cool idea. I bet you're so glad that you did the spam cards because it's so interesting to think back and just timestamp. It's this is when it was approximately this long ago,
Unknowingly, because I had a few different versions, so I've had people like Joe meet me and go, I have an old card. I have a card of yours, and they pulled it and go, well, that's an old one. Like I gave that years ago. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It means but now they're numbered, and so they kind of work the same way. You can kind of gauge how old they are.
Yeah,
but-
let me know how old that one is, because now I'm curious.
Excuse me. I think I had three paper versions before I went to the metal ones. But anyway, it's been years now.
We've had a lot of conversations before about how interesting it is because you were talking about the guy from Wichita that you're a fan of, and you're like, I kind of want to go just because not because you want to be a stalker or anything, but I want to see his house. And it's so interesting. We've talked about how that same regard that you have for that person for creating content on YouTube, people have had about you, and then I'm sure people would have for Joe. Just if they've watched the things wow, that's the guy who I saw they made this, and then instantly it's they hold them in a different regard than just a regular person, even though that's what everybody is.
Even though I tell people to do that because I'm really hypocritical apparently sometimes. I want to see Hobie's Garage. I want to see him, even though I purport to be just a guy as a YouTuber. But no, everyone else that I like is special.
Yeah.
But don't feel the same way about me. That's not what I want. Yeah. I understand it. I understand the fangirling sometimes because I do it.
It'd be like what would happen if you saw Liam Neeson. You'd be like, oh my gosh, Liam.
Have you haven't met Owen Rogers, have you?
No, I haven't.
Man, that bums me up because I've met him a couple of times.
Right.
We're fans of his. He's a YouTuber from the OG days, and fangirled pretty bad. It was really.
I bet you did.
It was really bad.
And you
honestly.
took a picture. I saw the picture you took.
Prove it.
It was in a photograph.
I can't. It's in a photograph.
I have the photograph
Picture was in a
proof.
photograph.
Yeah,
That was the same time you met Christina Grimmie too.
that was one of the times. Yeah,
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think that was actually the first time. But anyway, the moral of the story is, I'll fangirl over people I meet, and then I understand when people fangirl over me, but I wish they wouldn't. But I understand why.
Yeah.
That's it.
There was only like one occasion where I had to like actually DM somebody. There was a video that was out that got taken down of me at a car meet, and somebody like recorded me and was saying like, oh hey, I just talked to, and then they like tagged me in the video. I just talked to at It's Just Joe, and he was super rude to me. He didn't want to talk to me and stuff. And I have that whole like car meet on video because I was only there for a couple of minutes because we had to do some other stuff. And nobody came up to me. Nobody spoke to me. It was just another normal meet. I didn't talk to anybody. I was only recording just because it was a meet, and I was like, oh cool, I'll catch some cool cars or something. But has anybody kind of like falsely said any stuff like that about you, Walter?
Nothing comes to mind except for I started a podcast for a short while. Me and Chase and Moto. I don't know if you know Chase and Two Wheels and Motonosity.
Yeah.
I started a little podcast with them called Moto Talk. And then we immediately got slandered by somebody saying that we had stolen the idea from him, even though he had never contacted us and we've never heard, because we came up with it on our own. But again, Moto Talk isn't wholly original. So we're like, okay, well, this is unfortunate. But here's this. I had to clarify the situation and go, well, we're going to change the name to Moto Mumble or something else because we want everybody to know we're not trying to steal anything, which we're clearly not. But anyway, that was weird. He popped up and disappeared just like that. But that's all I can think of.
What's really interesting, that's interesting about people stealing people's ideas and stuff. On TikTok, that just doesn't really exist. People just steal completely thoughtlessly. It's just super interesting. That's just culturally part of it.
It's almost encouraged at a certain point because I see so many videos of like a video. Here, I'll even say it. A video of mine, that one that got the 9 point whatever million views. I had like videos of people that were just reposting my video with their face on it. And I was like, okay, I don't really care that you're doing that, but why?
Yeah. No, it's super bad on TikTok for sure.
That's always discouraging to me. Like you said, it's happened to you. I realize that has happened on YouTube where people have re-uploaded clips of mine as if they are their own. Like they'll cut off my watermark and not credit me and stuff like that, and that sucks. On TikTok, I think and other social media, there are accounts pretending to be me, and they have thousands of followers. And which bothers me a little bit. But what really bothers me is that I know, because I've seen examples of it, where these people will pretend to be me and deceive others by like talking to them through messages or whatnot, pretending to be me. And I feel really bad for all the people who are being lied to, thinking that or worse, what if the person pretending to be me says or does something really bad to this fan, and then they have a bad perception of me, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's completely out of my control. So that sucks. And I hope that doesn't happen to you, but I don't know, you do, Zach, but it seems like that's more prevalent with something like TikTok.
Oh yeah, I've seen videos of yours on TikTok, and I'm like, well, I know you didn't put that up there. So
there was a actual like Walterific channel that followed me, and this was when I was at like 20,000 followers, and they followed me on TikTok, and I'm like, okay, cool. Walterific channel only has a couple hundred followers, whatever. He probably just started something. Cool that he saw my video. And then I think you posted something on either your YouTube or we talked about it at a meet, and you're like, yeah, I don't have a TikTok account.
Yeah.
And then that one got taken down, or they changed the name of it or something, and I'm like, okay, that was...
I've seen them also take pictures of you and Ronan your dog, and they reuse a lot of your Ronin pictures and stuff on like dog Instagram accounts and stuff.
Yeah, I know there were famous reposts of my dog that weren't credited, and he just whatever gone to the ether. And
Yeah, he was being very cute, so I get it. Like if you're gonna copy anything, it should be something cute. But
whatever, I've kind of become more apathetic to it all now. Kind of. I mean, I'm in a fortunate situation, and Joe, hopefully you're popular enough that nothing bad ever comes of it. But in a situation where, I don't know, someone was pretending to be me and did something actually bad, I'm being vague because I don't know what that would be. I'm in a privileged position where I have the numbers to a big enough of a public figure to go, this is not me and I can prove it, and then it can be dismissed. Or, for example, if someone stole a video of yours and didn't credit it, you're probably maybe big enough to where you could have the audience to dispute it and go, no, this is the original. It's not like you have 50 people who know who you are and then somebody with 100,000 stole your video. That's got to be the worst thing. Luckily, I can't say it's ever happened to me, and I hope it doesn't happen to anybody. But I guess since I haven't had that, I've been kind of apathetic to having stuff stolen.
I know on TikTok there have been whole like movements because certain people will stand up for themselves and they'll be like, no, I did this first and here's my proof, and they show their proof. And I can think of one specific instance. I don't remember the video. I think it was just like some joke video. It wasn't very funny, whatever it was, but there's like a guy whose video blew up. It got super famous. It was, you know, tens of millions of views.
Oh, I remember this.
And
you
then,
told me about this.
And then this guy basically was like, no, this was my idea. And then the guy who took the idea, he basically stood his ground and was like, well, I did it better, so I deserve the attention that I got for it. And he wouldn't back down, and people crucified him for it. You know, and so it's like sometimes it won't be tolerated. I think mainly in situations where people are unabashedly not apologetic. But like you were saying, Joe, it's just there's a ton of just copying, and it's almost encouraged. It's like you're gonna get rewarded for copying ideas that have done good in the past.
Yeah, there's some channels out there that have millions of followers, and all they do is watch other people's videos, or the ones that like get me where I'm like this would not fly on YouTube is the people who repost movies on TikTok.
Yeah, they do. It's so ridiculous.
I'm like, how the hell is this allowed?
Yeah. I actually
My
today
video gets taken down because I use a song that's not allowed, but they're posting the Hunger Games in like the full scenes.
Yeah. Today I actually saw this one. Actually made me pretty happy, and technically I think it's technically plagiarism, but there's a video from it was an old like 20-year-old video, and it was of the original showing of the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire. And it was like the audience reaction to the scene where he's go Eb go fly, and he's like doing that, and the audience is like laughing and stuff. And it was so interesting to watch it. It was like opening a time capsule to that year and watching how funny people thought it was at the time. It was like, boy, I remember that now. But it's such an old video, and yeah, it's just interesting. One of the top comments was in 2002, that's stealing and plagiarism. In 2012, it's a good TikTok video.
Yeah,
it's literally the top comment in that video. But it did make me happy. I was about to show you that video because we like Spider-Man so much, and I think you'd like be happy watching it. It's like, wow, look at how AMC theaters used to look.
Do you like those time capsule videos, Joe? Have you seen anything like that?
Oh yeah, I mean, so I'm only 21, so my time capsule videos are always just like throwbacks to the early 2000s with like the cartoons that I used to watch, or like the Lego sets that I used to have.
What was the most mind-blowing one you saw? You were like, I forgot about that.
Oh my gosh. This was actually recent too. It was a toy that was advertised on like the TV. I don't remember if it was either moon shoes or like those.
Oh my gosh.
Those oh my gosh, I don't even know what they're made of. Those like plastic balls that you could blow up, but it was like a goop that you could put on a straw, and then you blow into the straw and it makes like this huge plastic ball.
Yep, and sometimes they glue in the dark. Glowed in the dark, yeah.
No
a snot rod? What is that?
I don't. The advertisement for them.
You literally, what you do, I had some of those. It's like they're very thin straws, and you literally dip your straw in like this goop stuff, and then you can blow huge, like very like firm bubbles with them because you can like pinch them off and like bounce them around and play with them.
And they're like 4 feet big.
Yeah, they could be really big. Yeah, man, that's so mind blowing. I forgot about freaking moon shoes. Those commercials. I'd be watching Teen Titans or something. And freaking moon shoes would show up and be like, "What?" They looked so cool.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you could just bounce in them, and then like like one of your neighbor friends would have it, and they would never play with them because they were super sucky. Like they didn't bounce at all.
The advertisement was like showing them jumping as high as trampolines, and then you get a pair of them and you jump like normal.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have big feet.
Yeah, or you'd be like a little bit over heavy, you know, and then they just wouldn't work at all. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Part of it.
That's so crazy. I had to.
If you were a kid above 90 pounds, they just didn't work.
Did you ever watch like that PBS Kids stuff like a long time ago?
Oh yeah, like the educational.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I had that moment about there's a show about these Siamese cats. I told you about this on one of our podcasts. Sagwa.
That I do remember.
Isn't that crazy? Like, because one of my friends goes, "Remember Sagwa?" And I was like, "Why is that name familiar?" And then she was like, "It's just this stupid show about these cats, and then they're just like royal cats, and they do nothing all day, and that's the show." And I was like, "Holy cow! Are they like white Persian cats?" And she's like, "Yeah." Anyway, it blew my mind that I completely forgot about Sagwa.
Joe, do you know it?
I don't.
That's okay.
That might be just above your generation because you when that was playing.
Oh yeah, see, I just googled it. That's not ringing a bell.
Yep, I was gonna say if you're 21 now, I would have. You know, that was probably when I was 6. I was probably 8 when I was watching that. So you were probably only 3.
Yeah, it came out in 2001, so I was 1.
That was a good year.
Oh man, 2001.
But anyway, I have an idea that's probably not a great one, but the idea about why, I don't know how to put this. TikTok, I think it's a generational thing like most things.
Yeah.
And I am not of that generation, but I think as the generations have gone on, pretty much since forever, they've only ever come with shorter attention spans, if that makes sense, if that's not too crude. I mean, TikTok videos are shorter.
I agree fully.
And YouTube videos are short movies. The first ones are like 10, 20 minutes. They're still about that long, but now we have ones on YouTube. The most popular ones are like a minute long, TikTok length. But now TikTok is almost exclusively, or I guess Vines is a good example of that kind of thing. So I'm at a generation where I'm good with my 10 minutes, you know. But you said you're 21, man. I didn't realize we're quite that far apart. I'm 29 and you're 26.
Yep. Well, 27.
Wow.
You are 27 now?
Well, no,
I didn't think
like,
so.
it's
You're
like
rounding up, but that doesn't count.
Yeah, it's like 2 weeks.
It's like
a month.
It's like you're drinking. How old are you? 21. Let me see your license. You're 20. I'm gonna be 21 in like a couple weeks. So
come on.
And then they'd be like, "Okay, fine."
Oh, you rounded up. Okay, I guess it's true.
That
you
counts.
are mostly.
Still counts. Yeah.
Still counts. No.
Yeah, I mean, I can almost say that the thing about TikTok too is I've noticed that any videos that I have that are over a minute will not do good. They have to be. Everything is like so short bursted now, and everybody wants that like immediate gratification. That every one of my videos that are under 45 seconds do really well, and anything over that, no.
Anything over that is like it's too much. Like I have that same thing if I pull up YouTube. Like 50 minutes, I'm not gonna watch that. That's just strange. But anyway,
well, and building off of that, even like if you ever watch like an old movie from like the 1930s or something, it's impossible to watch because it's so long.
That's true.
They're
And
all
the
like
scenes,
so
just
slow.
dialogue in one room and nothing happens.
But I'm sure back then these people were like, "Oh my gosh, the action!" You know, like,
Oh, this is crazy.
Charlie Chaplin, slow down. You know,
Did he just take 2 sips of his drink?
Yep.
slow down.
Yeah. Wow. It's my heartbeat.
Hey, as a quick fun game, what do you think the main medium for video is going to be in about 20 years? Like, what do you think that's going to be like?
Oh, geez.
Because we're already down to 10, 30 seconds. And 20 years ago it was maybe 5, 10
Like,
minutes.
how much shorter can it get?
How much shorter can it get?
I
Pictures?
don't think it's going to get shorter.
Huh?
I don't think it's going to get shorter. If you got, because you always think about like history always repeats itself. So I've noticed that like YouTube videos are going from 10 minutes, the whole 10-minute thing, you'll get your ad revenue. Now I see them being 16, 20, You know, there's some YouTube videos that I'll watch that are an hour long.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on that point now where the TikTok clips are so short, being that 20 or 30 seconds, that it's going to go back to how it used to be. It's going to go now 20 or 30 seconds, back to 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes,
That's
back to an hour long.
Interesting idea that it's going to go back and forth. But I should probably mention the reason that the 10-minute plus videos exist isn't because that's what people wanted to watch. It's because
the ads.
It's because it's what the YouTube computer algorithm gods decided was good content. YouTube looks at a video and goes, hey, if somebody watched this video for 10 minutes, it must be a good video, which is an arbitrary number that they made.
Yeah.
Yep.
It doesn't mean that people wanted to watch it. So anyway, but if they can change the standard, and there will always be, I'll say this, there will always be an audience for long form content, like an hour-long podcast.
Yeah.
That will always exist. So I think your idea is pretty good. Like we'll have it all. It'll go back and forth. And
Well, like even as people get older, I feel like that's one of the demeanor things, like the conservatism and liberalism type idea of people, where people, as you get older, you're probably going to appreciate longer content more. I know I have. Like my most recent binge has been a show that averages like 4.5 hours long. So it's like, you know, per episode. So I know that, you know, eventually, and even we like the longer form, you know, like video game play videos where they're like an hour long of playing through a game several times or something, or speed run videos that could be an hour and a half or so.
Well, hey,
I find myself watching those all the time now.
Which ones do you watch?
Like the Mario Odyssey speed runs, or oh my god, or even like there's this one dude that just will speed run every game. He'll learn all of the tricks to it, and he'll give himself like a month to do it, and then he'll just post speed runs about it.
Jeez. That sounds like a lot of work. Learning one game to speedrun is difficult enough, but gee whiz. All the games?
Yeah. He did like Get Over It, he did Neighbors, he did Mario. I mean, he has like maybe 200 or 300 games that he's speedrun.
That's ridiculous. Is he good at any of them? Is this a jack of all trades, master of none?
He's like always placing top 5 or above.
That's ridiculous. Wow. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well,
I wish I remembered his name, but I mean, if I find it, it's just this guy's content is insane.
I guess as long as there's a capitalistic market, we'll always have all the products.
Yeah,
we'll always have long and short. But I didn't think of that.
I'd even predict that most people are going to be like that. You're going to find some, like, as you get older, you're not going to, you know, you're not going to resonate the same with a 10-second goofy video. Well, I mean, depends on your mood, obviously, but like, because sometimes I'll like those, but mostly the things I find myself going back to are longer form now, whereas it used to be like 5 minutes or less, and that's it kind of deal.
Yeah, and I actually find myself rewatching a lot of old videos that I used to watch. Especially, I don't know if you've heard of like the Sidemen channel. It's they do like a video every Sunday that's about an hour long. And I consistently find myself rewatching old videos when I'm doing like homework, or if I'm working on a project, or if I'm like working on my car in the garage. I'll just throw it up on the TV, and it's just background noise.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are you going to school? Did you say you're doing homework?
Yeah, so I'm going for my business law degree.
Oh, okay. Do you know what you want to do with that yet? I'm just curious.
I'll probably end up being a corporate attorney or something along those lines.
Is that an interest of yours?
I've been told my whole life I'm good at arguing.
So you're like, somebody should pay me for it.
Yeah, might as well.
You'll find lots to fight about in corporate. Heck yes. Man. Well, that's exciting. You far along with that then?
Not crazy far. I know COVID put a pretty deep halt on my overall timing of it, because there was that point where everything was online, and my kind of like learning style isn't great for just sitting in my office and being on my computer and having to listen to a lecture where all of my stuff is here for me to do.
Yeah. You're like clicking on the next game you're going to play.
Yeah, or like I'll be working on a video while I'm watching, or I'm supposed to be listening to a lecture.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Makes sense.
Yeah. Whereas like last semester I was actually able to go into the college, and it was just much easier and a much better experience.
Mm.
How much longer do you think you have at school until you get that job?
probably 3 years, 4 years maybe.
Can I put you on the spot and say, what do you think your hopes and dreams are for the next 3 years?
I mean, I definitely want to continue doing TikTok, but like I was saying earlier, this is gonna be TikTok is my fallback. It's something that I can keep working on and working towards, but I definitely want to have something that's kind of set in stone right now. That if something happens to where TikTok gets sold just like Vine and Musically, that I'm not putting 100% of my being into something that might not work out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's smart.
Eggs in all the baskets, whatnot.
Exactly that.
Eggs.
Baskets.
Exactly.
Yeah. Eggs and baskets. You know what? That's the word exactly. That's okay. We've talked about this, I think, before too, but words that other people will say that make you think that they're calling your name. Exactly. They always emphasize Zach with that. And so every time I'm like, what? And then they're like, what? And like it's always super.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
The word Zach is in the word exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Or they'll be like, exactly.
Do
and I'm like,
people ever
what?
do that when they're talking about Joe Mama?
Oh my God. I used to have a teacher in high school that would always say, "What do you know, Joe?" And it annoyed me to my core. I don't know why. I don't know
why they said it?
It wasn't saying anything bad. It just.
I have a question. Were they trying to teach you stuff? Were they actually wondering what you knew because of it being school, or are they just trying to give you a cool nickname?
He was just a music teacher that was rhyming stuff.
Okay, so he was using it as a phrase he used for different people.
Yeah.
Okay, he wasn't trying to annoy you with it.
No, not at all. I just know I was like, he'd say it so much that it was like, all right, Jeff, I'm tired of hearing it.
I know that if you say, "What do you know, Joe?" one more time, I will punch you. That's what you should say.
Exactly.
I know you should stop.
Hey,
Oh, gosh,
we have
that one.
I'm wondering something, and I think you're wondering it too. What do you think of the song Cotton Eye?
Oh
Joe.
my God.
It's such a classic folk song about a guy named Joe.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we don't know.
Where he came from.
We
or,
don't know that.
Or where he's going, or where'd he go.
Yeah, I think he was married.
Frankly, if it hadn't been for him, I would have been married a long time ago. Gosh. We've been doing this playthrough lately, and we've been bringing that song up constantly.
Yeah, we've been playing through and bring it up as a joke, and it just came to my head. It's Joe. I had to bring it up. Sorry.
Cotton Eye Joe.
Oh, that's hilarious. I didn't even think of that because every time I hear that song, I'll like sing it in my head, and I'll hear somebody else I'll hear somebody say it across the room. They'll say Joe, and I'll look over and be like, "Oh, right, it's the song. No one's asking for me."
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh. Well, this is chill. I actually like how smooth this is going. We're 53 minutes into it. We want to kill time for 5 more minutes and call it a day.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Now this time, you ask a question because I feel a little bad for grilling you, and I'm trying to, but obviously I want to get to know you, so that's why we're asking you questions. But this would be a good time for you to ask either of us something.
Yeah. What kind of sets you? Well, I don't know how to word this. It's what kind of sets you off to start doing YouTube?
Is this for both of us, or
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
here I'll say for Walter right now for the Walterific channel, and then for Walter and Zach for doing the listening show and the
Well, long story short, I was doing videos for fun, and I guess YouTube is where you put your videos.
Okay.
I don't know if that's sufficient. And I was doing it for fun, and I still do it for fun. So that's the short answer. If that's not sufficient, I can try to expound, but I want to move on to.
I would be interested for you to expound.
Okay,
Yeah.
you gotta have to grill me then.
So what was that kind of tipping point where you were like, okay, now this is starting to look like a career path?
Well, I remember I was working a couple jobs and I was doing YouTube on my spare time for fun, and then it grew very quickly over the course of about 3 months, and it got to the point where the YouTube paycheck was more than one of my jobs. And I thought, well, shoot, I should just quit this job, do more YouTube, and then I can do that. And I did that for several months, and then I quit my other job because YouTube was paying enough. So, and it all happened at quite the time. I think I mentioned that I was just about to stop just about to stop making YouTube videos because I was using all my free time for it for fun. And I thought I should probably do more work because this is a lot of all my time. And right when I was about to quit, then it went from, I think, 1,000 to 3,000 subscribers overnight. And I was like, oh, wow, people like it. I should stick it out. And then I stuck it out, and happened like within the week of me about to just stop. So what luck? Because
it's pretty crazy your growth that you had in like a year's worth of time. It's pretty insane, really.
It's weird how it works, but it was a whole year of uploading regularly, and had like 1,000 subscribers at the end of the year. But then the next year, I think it went from
like 1,000 to like 80,000 or something.
Almost 100,000 in the next year.
Yeah, that's insane.
So that's weird. Anyway, I hope that was sufficient. But why did we start YouTube? Well, we've been wanting to do the listening show for years, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I ruined it because I moved away. And then when I had the option to move back, I was like, I could move back or I could move to Colorado because I always wanted to move there. But the listening show, it's too important. We got to try. We've always wanted to do it. So I moved back, and then we started it a little over a year ago now. And it's just a little thing, Everything starts little. Maybe it'll always be little. But the important thing is, I assume this is true for you. I'll let you speak for yourself. But I like doing it, and that's why I do it.
Yeah. There's something really interesting about just like intentionally sitting down with your buddy and just talking. Like, this is what we do for this allotted time, and we just talk. Mm-hmm. And, it's surprising but I consistently find out, hey, you're pretty cool. It's pretty interesting to rediscover why you're friends with your friend like every week.
No, I think it's cool because sometimes you always kind of relearn something about somebody that either you forgot about or it's just something that you've never spoken about before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's my favorite thing is when we start to explore something that we haven't explored together. Like we may not even have our own thoughts about it until we bring it up, and then we both discover some things. It's fun, and I'm glad we're doing it.
Yeah. My favorite conversations are usually those like deeper philosophical ones. Those are just so... those conversations always end up feeling so meaningful, even if we don't come to any conclusions.
Yeah.
It's just like our, fickle, dumb people brains, like trying to comprehend the universe, and even just trying, it's like, that's what we were made to do. Like we're supposed to figure it out. Yeah. Yeah.
Those are my favorites too.
Yeah.
But then we'll have dumb ones. And thankfully, finally, we've wanted to have guests since before we started. Like, one day we'll have a guest. And then you were nice enough to say, me.
Yeah.
And then we're like, we want to have. Yeah.
Yeah, you almost weren't our first guest, but then you ended up being.
So good job.
Good job. Being super fast.
First.
And I'll say it has been really nice talking to you. I don't know, it went smooth. So, I appreciate having you on. And Zach mentioned maybe having you again other times. So maybe we could do that. Maybe we can get your face plastered up with a camera so that people can... so you can suffer like Zach and I.
Maybe we can have you have one of those more serious philosophical conversations.
Yeah, whatever you want to talk about.
Sure.
Cool.
I'd be happy to do it.
That'd be dope, my man. Well, I appreciate you coming on and everything. We'll probably stop it there. You don't have to hang up though. We'll talk to you and everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So this is the part when we say goodbye to all the listeners, but not to you.
Yeah.
You stay right here.
Yeah, if you hang up, we'll never invite you.
That'd be awkward
again.
if you just you hear the Skype blue. Oh, okay. I guess the show's over.
Okay, bye, Joe. Guys. All right, thanks for joining us for listening show. Listen again another time if you want to. Thanks again, Joe. Say bye.
Goodbye, everybody.